For the last 10 years, we have embarked on gaining expertise in HR, and we have conducted more than 100 projects on HR in the last 5 years in the Middle East alone. And if you have an organization with a lot of money but without people or without good people, you won't get anywhere. So why is that? And one of the reasons is that as soon as you can attach numbers or figures to something, it's much easier for people to discuss and argue about it. Now, finance, for example, has a tradition of putting KPIs and numbers to it. If you ask about how profitable is a business, everybody can tell you these are the 2 or 3 KPIs that we need to talk about. So HR, in order to gain a strategic role in the organization, and especially in a region where HR traditionally is very much focused on transactions, needs to use KPIs to prove what they do. And these KPIs need to be aligned with business beforehand.
I would like just to highlight, if it's possible in the government sector, introduce the business partner instead of HR manager employee. So what do you think about creating a business partner within the HR team?
You can also take the question on a different angle when you say, for example, an organization like the Federal Authority for Government HR, which is a little bit the HR regulator for the government. They could also think about taking a certain business partner role, so about deploying a task force into specific entities. But again, I would not think about doing this for all my entities. You would do this for those entities that are very different to the rest of your organization.
Actually, I just wanted to comment on something, and I hope that everyone will agree with me on that. I think this study, the most important element that probably I learned, besides the results that you showed and highlighted, is the approach. And I think we should a little bit focus on the approach, the way you guys have approached this. Because basically, for example, it starts with a very scientific approach, surveys. And surveys are designed in a way that the results will add value. Secondly, that there are multiple surveys actually. There are surveys targeted towards HR professionals and then recipients of that service, which are non-HR. And I think that's the core businesses, for example, in our case and so forth. And I think that's something we can learn from and develop.
If your survey recipient is the HR department, it makes a lot of sense into detailing these into subtopics, because they can answer about strengths and weaknesses in these subtopics. When you talk about the business recipient, we are very quickly coming to a point where a level of granularity might make it difficult for the business recipient to understand.